Oh my god. They are still here. What a surprise. Okay. Let's go to the last one. Calculus Trap. I hope it's shorter. It is shorter. Nice. Last one. Last one! Safe. Against all odds, yeah, I mean, I feel you though. I feel you. I'm also like fighting through it. A copy of each recovered textbook containing an instance of SCP-1889 is to be contained at Site 20 inside a single locked steel cabinet within a camera monitored vault. The vault is to be considered off limits to anyone known to have a high school level education, except in cases of emergency or approved testing. By the way, you probably don't know this, but since you fell asleep yesterday, but I still like you were still watching the stream. Like at least your computer was like still watching the stream. I raided a fellow streamer, so you gave them an extra viewer, even though you probably did not hear or see any of it. And then they raided another streamer, so your view jumped to them, and so on and so forth. It was funny. As instances of SCP-1889 are not a threat when left unsolved, containment resolves around the removal and destruction of all contaminated material. When a source is found to be contaminated, a complete recall is to be issued through appropriate channels, and all copies are to be destroyed by incineration. A single copy may be kept for documentation. For documentation's sake, with Dr. A's approval. All calculus textbooks currently in print are to be monitored for 1889 contamination before being released into public circulation. Glad to support creators. Yeah, I was just like wondering like how long can we like was it like I was wondering if you're gonna wake up and just see like somebody you don't recognize, like who the fuck, who is this person on my screen? SCP-1889 is the collective designation for several math problems that have been found in various North American calculus textbooks since approximately 1960. The problems appear within all books of a specific printing with an unknown mechanism, at some point between mass production and shipping. The original instance was discovered after investigation of reports of disappearance and violent murders occurring on the campus of the University of were found to have all happened to individuals with access to the to the second edition of elementary calculus since the original containment in 1971. An additional edition have been determined to contain instances of SCP-1889. SCP-1889 will always take the form of an optimization word problem written in the same style as the rest of the book. Copies of all known examples are stored on site and may be viewed with approval from Dr. A, with numbers removed to prevent contamination. Through the word choice will change from edition to edition, the numbers and subsequent calculations involved have remained static in every recovered instance. That's no longer true. See Addendum 2. SCP-1889 anomalous effect will occur when the problem is read, understood, and solved by a human being. When a human comprehends the correct solution, they appear to vanish. Ah, yes. Calculus, the math that kills you. Though it is difficult to determine the exact moment of comprehension, the moment of disappearance seems to incorporate this theory. See Incident 1. The disappearance is as close to instantaneous as can be determined with modern technology and releases no EM radiation. The area previously occupied by the subject is usually replaced with air containing trace amounts of redacted at a median temperature of approximately 45 degrees Celsius. All attempts to track the location of subjects after the disappearance have failed completely. Approximately 22 to 24 hours after the subject disappearance, a rough cube of body parts will appear within 3 meters of the last location. Confirmed by genetic testing to be the remains of the lost subject. Ah, great! I knew it. You didn't have to confirm it. I just assumed, and I assumed correctly. In all recorded examples, said cube has consisted of an organized bundle of organs, muscle, and bone wrapped tightly in the skin of the subject. Ugh. The body is usually fully accounted for except in the case of the central nervous system, which usually shows signs of partial removal. No brain matter has ever been found in the recovered cube. The recovered biomass is covered in a unknown ethanol-like liquid with heavy antimicrobial properties rendering it biologically sterile. Occasionally, a message will be cleanly burned onto the recovered skin. The message is almost always in the subject's primary language and appears to comment on the quality of the subject or request something of the recipient. The significance of these messages, as well as their origin, are unknown. Attempts to communicate through items on the subject's person have not had a noticeable effect. Example: request additional supplies, rarity too low, specimen too docile, do look expunged, acceptable, please repeat. Addendum 1. On 990, a test was performed utilizing a mathematical computer capable of receiving textual inputs in conjunction with a D-class incapable of performing calculus. Subject disappearance occurred as usual, corroborating the hypothesis that it's not the calculation involved, but rather the act of understanding the solution that triggers the anomalous effect. The body reappeared unexpectedly less than 2 hours later, in a severely burned and dismembered state. A small message had been written repeatedly across all recovered pieces, reading quality unacceptable. Body was sampled, then incinerated. No further testing is planned at this time. Addendum 2. Additional problems with similar effects have been found and catalogued in the edition of Calculus. Early transcendentals. Transcendental. Yeah. Though the instance has been dealt with, this appears to be a response to the restrictive containment procedures successfully preventing any known cases of 189 activation for the last years. The possibility that SCP-189 is somehow adapting means that strong scrutiny must be applied to reports similar to 189 activity from this point onwards. And yeah, there we go. See, like, this is why I took what was my math class called? Because there was like because we had like 3 different math classes in the last 2 years of high school. One was like the hard version where a couple of my friends went there to learn that, and it was like, you know, naturally had calculus and all that stuff in it. Then there was a regular version that was like a bit easier, like just, you know, normal, and then was one that was, I forgot what it's called, but it was mostly focusing on actual like stuff that, you know, the average human being needs to use, like statistics and geometry. And that's the one I picked because that was my jam. But yeah, I will not understand calculus, so I'm safe.